Sneaker resale culture has gotten out of control.
Raided a popular sneaker shop, Cool Kicks, LA, this week in Santa Monica, leading to the felony arrest of owner Adil Shams. Partially captured via live stream, the raid shocked the sneaker community and sparked questions about allegedly stolen merchandise.
There are arguments and debates taking place all over the internet. People seem to be losing their trust in sneaker resale and sneaker culture as a whole. Everybody used to value overpriced, hype sneakers as the grails, but now we're starting to realize that that monetary value means nothing.
You broke!
In this video, I want to talk about the declining appeal of overpriced sneakers and how resale culture needs to evolve. But before we do that, welcome back if you've been here for a while. I'm Free, and on this channel we talk about fashion, social media culture, and general self-improvement. So if you're interested in more, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button. So let's take a step back and look how we got here.
Hey bro, you good?
Yeah.
Chilling?
Yep, just got a few videos, so.
Let me see what you got.
I love the videos, by the way.
We filming right now.
No way.
What's up? No.
Resale culture was a thing well before the internet. People in niche small communities would get together and trade their sneakers for other products. It was a way of sneaker enthusiasts coming together and making a community. It was more about the friendship and the camaraderie rather than the sales that could be made. But it really gained its traction when influencers started taking the spotlight. Back in the day, bloggers and local sneaker enthusiasts were the backbone of the culture. Then came YouTube, with creators like Seth Fowler paving the way for sneaker content. Some of his most viral videos were him highlighting the fact that you can start a successful resale business with just one shoe. It's that simple. You just have to know the game and flip your way up to the top. It was like the American dream for a lot of sneakerheads. Fast forward to the Instagram and TikTok era, sneaker influencers took things to a whole nother level. They were the first to pioneer the idea of small, easy to consume videos and made sneaker resale look like an easy thing to do. But as the unfortunate truth of life goes, as things become more popular, they get more flawed. As many people entered into the sneaker resale game, many of them were just focused on profits. They had no interest in sneakers, they had no interest in the culture, and they were just there to make a quick buck. This is what's broken sneaker resale, because everybody, your average consumer, your mama, your daddy, your little brother that you don't talk to, they all think they can make $25 million by selling a pair of Jordan 4s, and it's not the case. And these practices affect the sneakers that we see today. Everything has to be trendy, and the question is, why are we so obsessed with overpriced sneakers? We gotta be real with ourselves sometimes. We are affected by hype. It sells. Influencers have become the most effective marketing strategy for most brands. Their parasocial relationship with audience thrives on trust, inspiration, and the idea that we too can join the ranks of the sneaker elite. Simply put, they rely on the fact that you don't have and they have. They honestly need you to want more over and over and over again in order for their content to be relevant, viral, and acceptable. I mean, honestly, most of us have been conditioned to think this way about sneakers. We don't want the $100 pair. We don't want the cheap pair sitting at Ross. We want what's on Foot Locker. We want what's on StockX. We want what's on Go. We want the things that other people don't have. And guess what? Exclusivity comes with a price. It's a lot easier to market something as exclusive and rare. People want it and they're willing to pay whatever price they can to get it. And this is human nature. I mean, at the end of the day, we want what we can't have. And it seems like in the past decade, we've become very fixated on this idea of exclusivity equaling value, which honestly isn't the case. I mean, some of the most popular videos on YouTube are of people flipping their whole entire collection and making a huge profit, or buying a super grail sneaker. It's all about how much money can I make from these products. And we, the consumers, watch these people do this every day, and we think this is like the lifestyle. This is something that everybody needs to have. And sneakers aren't about money. They're about, well, their footwear. They're about walking and being comfortable more so, and then style, and then athletic memories. But it seems like in this current space, we're so focused on how much money can I make? What are my profit margins? What can I do? And it's not really that much of a business per se in its inherent form. And it looks like a lot of these social media platforms are turning into mini shopping networks. You got the TikTok shop, YouTube shop. It seems like everywhere you go, someone's trying to sell you something. We also can't ignore the giant glaring problem in the room. It's the economy. The economy is down bad. We broke. We selling peas out of a can. You know what I'm saying, dog? The money isn't where it needs to be. People are not concerned about buying a sneaker when they can't pay their rent. And you know, ironically, as I was editing this video, I saw this video on YouTube about a sneaker store in California getting robbed. These guys just broke in, took a bunch of sneakers that are supposed to be donated to some homeless people, and it's just sad. The measures that we have to go through in this economy in order to keep up with the trends and feel fashionable. And then we got a lot of these content creators making $1,000 sneaker hauls install videos when most of us can't even pay our rent, or most of us are working 2 jobs. You can't even live the life you want because you're paying off credit cards constantly. And I'm not saying that these people can't glorify their lifestyle. It's cool, but it seems like to me there seems to be some type of disconnect between these creators and their audiences. I don't know if you can afford expensive sneakers. I don't know if you like to wear Reps, you like to wear Skechers, but sometimes we make content that just seems unappealing, irrelevant. It doesn't solve too many problems, doesn't educate, it doesn't entertain. It's just there for me to show off how luxurious I'm living. And then you got people out here just breaking and entering the sneaker stores. So where do we go from here? I think we need to start supporting content creators who try to entertain and educate rather than show off a very valuable collection. So why are overhyped sneakers no longer appealing? Many people have begun to realize there are alternative options. Surprise, surprise, you can get quality sneakers for less money. There's a whole cultural shift going on right now. It seems to be the popular trend to wear cheap dad-like sneakers. I mean, look at New Balances and Asics. They've been booming with popularity. This wasn't the case 5 years ago. They were thought of like old man running shoes. However, as the economy changes, so do our needs. And people are going to buy whatever they can afford and what's in their budget. Another thing is that authentication isn't valuable. In my last video, which you should definitely check out, I talked about how sneaker authentication has lost its meaning. Reps are legitimate options for some people. Even if that isn't the case, a lot of consumers are hesitant to get sneakers off of third-party apps because they get it wrong a lot of the times too. There are plenty of people that only get their sneakers from first-hand retailers. I'm talking Nike, Foot Locker, Adidas. They don't trust StockX, Go, eBay. They're very hesitant to spend their money. And guess what? A lot of overpriced sneakers need to be authenticated. And we gotta be honest, most overpriced sneakers are so hard to wear. Many of them are loud and boisterous and difficult to style. Imagine wearing a pair of bright red Air Yeezys and actually making the fit go hard. It's very difficult to do that because they're so loud and iconic. They draw a lot of attention. You're gonna get so many questions. It's gonna be like, dang, I might as well just keep this thing on the shelf. On top of that, some of them are fragile and very difficult to maintain. Think of like off-white Jordan 5s. If dirt gets underneath that bad boy, you're cooked. And people expect more in their investments. We're responsible for how we decide to consume and the people we support because we're supporting certain values and practices at the end of the day when we participate in this culture. I think the overpriced sneaker era is somewhat out of its way, guys. I think the cracks are starting to show. People got more options and it's a good thing. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below and I'll catch you next time. I've been thinking a lot about sneaker culture recently and what we mean when we say the term fake sneakers. There are so many contradicting opinions on the internet. I think we're being far too literal when we use the word fake. It seems like this year especially, the internet has really started picking apart how bad the general state of sneakers has become and how we as consumers have gotten so used to poor quality products and we are responsible for what's going on in the sneaker industry. I think at one point you could say the term fake sneakers and people would automatically know exactly what you were referencing, down to the specific details. But for reasons I'm going to get into, I feel like this is no longer the case. I feel like the term fake sneakers has become a lot murkier than we thought it out to be. It's a lot harder to define the general state of sneakers in this current culture. Today, we are more obsessed with following trends and making mass-produced, cheap quality goods. Like I said, this topic's been on my mind for a while now. With all this news about fake sneakers popping up, it makes me wonder if we need to redefine what it means to be a quote-unquote fake sneaker. I even talked about this with my YouTube community. I think it's just time we update the parameters as to what constitutes a fake. But before we get into that, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, welcome. I'm FitsByFree. On this channel, we talk about fashion, sneakers, and just general self-improvement and social media culture. So if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. StockX has been sued several times.
StockX's name is back in the news and it's not looking good. This person bought 62 pairs of University Blues, Hyper Royals, and Mochas, totaling at about $10,000. And of those 62, 36 turned out to be fake. That means over 58% of the shoes they're selling are gonna be fake. So what do you guys think this means for StockX?
So there have been several claims made by Nike that StockX has been out here selling fake sneakers. I mean, how hard is it to replicate a green tag, right? And on top of that, the authenticators really don't know what's going on half the time either.
Mira, mira, You don't put a tag or something?
Unless it's solely on the platform.
Okay. You don't UV light? They're fake.
Yeah?
And let's be real, StockX has been doing this for a while. They have been the poster child when it comes to deceptive practices and questionable authentication. Let's be real, StockX relies on visual identifiers alone just to tell whether a sneaker is fake or not. I find it very weird that they use likeliness to an authentic sneaker to determine whether the other shoe is authentic. Like, is there a serial number? Is there something that we could go by? They just rely on the little details that they can find, and then when they get it wrong, it's like, oops. It makes you question the whole sneaker industry.
I don't trust StockX. They sell fake shoes. Nike even has a lawsuit against them. Nike employees would order themselves shoes off of StockX and got fakes of their own shoe to themselves.
And it's not like all these incidences are just isolated in one spot. They constantly get exposed for these same practices, and it makes me wonder, how are they still in business? I think both of these examples highlight the fact that we've begun to associate fake sneakers less with a set of principles and details, and instead we focus on how cheap the goods are. I mean, if I were to say name some fake sneaker brands, you tell me places like DHgate and AliExpress. I think we started to believe that the term fake sneakers is just confined to the worst offenders, to the ones we're most familiar with being fake, like AliExpress and Wish, the sneakers with the obvious flaws, the big jump man, the backwards logo, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because some sneakers aren't higher price, they attract a different clientele, like StockX. Maybe it's because of that perception and the marketing, people are less opposed to going there as opposed to going to DHgate. But I do believe that StockX gets away with a lot because of their perception as being ingrained with big corporations like Nike and Adidas, because at the end of the day, these companies profit off resale culture as well, and the money goes back into the same pool. Maybe it's because StockX has a little bit quicker shipping times, or they come with a green tag. People are less inclined to question their products. And I'm not saying they're on the level of like DHgate, but I just have a hard time putting StockX in the authentic category, and it makes me wonder, where does the label of authentic stop and something else begin? I think we need to dissect the term fake sneaker a little bit and question what it means to be that. Now, I sifted through a lot of different opinions online, but I'm going to go over some of the more common points brought up when we're talking about fake and replica sneakers. Is it trendy styles and overproduction that makes a sneaker fake? Well, yes, but wouldn't that make luxury authentic brands fake as well? We've talked several times on this channel about how certain companies hop on TikTok trends like the whole dad shoe pandemic. Not to mention the fact that most of the sneaker industry is sitting on piles of unused sneakers, and who knows what they're doing with these extra pairs at the end of the day. What about cheap prices and poor working conditions? Yes, but unfortunately, this is common practice in the fashion and sneaker industry. Many of the goods that are quote unquote authentic are made cheap, and you wouldn't even wear them because there's no hype associated with them. Most of these real sneakers that have no hype value are worth less than fakes. And I think the whole idea of fake sneakers equaling affordable nowadays is just out of the question. When you have brands like DHgate and Temu raising their prices because they're trying to compete with the demand and the ultra fast fashion brands that we know of. Are they just simply using FOMO marketing? And this point ultimately links back to the whole idea of brands relying on exclusivity to make a sale. Honestly, they hop on TikTok trends, they hop on what Gen Z and Gen Alpha are making popular, and they limit the supply to create artificial demand. I mean, let's be real, most of marketing nowadays is FOMO marketing. So this even further begs the question of, what is an authentic sneaker? The whole sneaker industry has been on fire this year because they're being exposed for a lot of shady practices, which I've called out on my channel. Some companies are selling fake. Some companies are just continuously perpetuating resale culture, and people have woken up. So I think it's important that we define the boundaries between authentic and fake in today's landscape. Is it ethics that makes a brand authentic? So definitely not the notion that comes to mind when you think of the word authentic, but moving in an ethical way defines authentic sneakers. Most people don't want to buy fakes because of their principles and their morals, but do all the companies you support act ethically? Really? If we're using that as a parameter for authenticity for most sneakers, that would eliminate all the companies that many people support today. What else could it be? Better quality materials? Is an authentic sneaker defined by better materials? I don't know. In my video where I called out half of the sneaker industry, we kind of touched on the fact that a lot of sneakers nowadays have quality issues. I mean, some people have even profited off of very obvious flaws. I mean, look at the upside down Jumpman on this Jordan 4, sold for thousands of dollars. Just because a sneaker sneaker doesn't have obvious stitching issues doesn't mean it's authentic. Is it the luxury price range? Let's be real, most of us associate hype and authenticity with a high price tag. This is one of the most common answers that came up when I researched this topic. A lot of brands use luxury price tags to make exclusivity a feeling in most of their customers. They don't really make these things out of like gold and titanium. There are a couple other ideas that popped up on Google when it came to a sneaker being authentic, and that's brand identity, which is big in sneaker culture. A lot of us wear certain clothes and shoes because of the celebrities and the icons and the moments associated with them. But in the world of the dupe culture, it's very hard just to rely on logos alone to determine whether something's authentic or not. There's been a whole movement on the internet against these high price tags. People have just been okay with wearing low quality, cheap goods that aren't really that original, and people may know that they're fake, but at this point they're wearing what they like and they do it, they love it. And nowadays it's not even the super high-end expensive 101 stuff that's getting replicated. Everyday shoes are also getting replicated as well, so it's very hard to determine what's real and what's fake because everything nowadays is so common. And I also think sophistication and quality are out of the question when it comes to the topic of sneaker authenticity. I mean, nowadays the average sneakerhead does not possess that much knowledge when it comes to sneakers, so it's hard for them to even determine what is real and what is fake. Just by a glance, most people can't tell. They don't have the knowledge, the tools, nor the care to actually check. I think this type of knowledge only comes into play when sneaker sales are being made and you're talking about somebody who's now investing a high amount of money into a product, and they're going to be a little bit more knowledgeable because they probably have a livelihood based off this practice. Or perhaps maybe authenticity relates to creativity and originality, and nowadays that is kind of lacking in sneakers, and most sneakers that are super out there and super original get kind of clowned for it. They get some clout like the mischief boots or the bear claw boots, but if we look back to the whole Yeezy era with the foam runners and the Yeezy pods, the things that are sensational and original do get sales as well. But then look at it at this point, the price tag of the Yeezy pods was $20 and people thought that was too low for an authentic product, and they're like, let me get some socks. Is that not wearing fake sneakers too? If you tie some rocks on the end of some socks and you call them Yeezy pods?
All in all, it's pretty safe to say at this point the lines between what we consider authentic and fake have been completely blurred. Honestly, nowadays, it's all about what you believe. If you think what you purchase is real, go with it and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. If you're one of those people that's not even concerned with authenticity and you wear quote unquote fakes, keep doing you. It's all about how you spend your money and how you practice ethical sales, bro. Because at the end of the day, as long as you're not selling fakes as real, it doesn't really matter what you decide to do with your sneakers. Just keep doing you and prosper.